The fight for control of the State House is gaining steam, too. WCIA3's Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell following each of these races, introducing us to the candidates from Central Illinois. Mark, tonight you talked to two of the youngest candidates running for office in Springfield.
Jessica, that's right. It's the 95th House District. It starts in Pana and Taylorville and stretches down to almost St. Louis. And I talked to a lot of voters in that district today. They said they like having young, youthful candidates because there's a lot of energy and enthusiasm in that race. But they want to know more about the candidate's experience. And it's that conversation that caught one candidate embellishing his record.
Some things get better with age.
It's the youngest state house matchup in Illinois. 26-year-old incumbent Avery Bourne against 26-year-old Democrat Dillon Clark. He's a political newcomer eager to make a name for himself.
As a volunteer fireman, I watched as the budget crisis tore apart our small towns.
Except that's not true. Clark was not a volunteer firefighter during the budget crisis. He was never a firefighter in Litchfield or anywhere in the state of Illinois.
I am not a fire chief. The chief let me wear his helmet that day, but I was a volunteer fireman back in the day, and I really enjoyed that, and it taught me a lot.
Clark claimed he volunteered in Missouri for more than a year during college back in 2010.
You know, I always got out of class because I didn't do as well in my studies as I should have at that time because I always was running out trying to save the day.
The chief at that small town station told us Clark was on the volunteer roster for just 7 weeks, went to just one training event, and responded to only one emergency incident.
It is inappropriate to portray yourself in a way that's untrue, especially if it's portraying yourself as someone who is dedicating their lives to public service in a way of fire protection, police, any of it.
Should he take that video down?
I think he should.
I asked the fire chief who let Clark wear his hat for the ad, was that an act of stolen valor? He says, quote, "We let the kids come in here and play with the gear all the time. I don't see how this is any different." I asked Clark to explain that video. He said he can see how someone might misinterpret that perhaps he was portraying himself as a Litchfield Fire Department firefighter. He's not. I also asked him to explain what's up with you said you were there for more than a year. The fire chief says you were there for just 7 weeks. He says, quote, "Well, I wasn't official, but I was still tagging along with the guys." So he was in college and hanging out with volunteer fire department officials back in 2010. To Avery Bourne's call for him to take that video down, he says, quote, "It's factual and it's not coming down." Jessica?
All right, Mark Maxwell live in Springfield for us tonight. Mark, thank you.